Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is the first news on 20th February newspaper front page dawn. PM says attempts on to buy loyalty of PTI legislators. Says prices are set ahead of Senate elections. By Amjad Iqbal. Texila Prime Minister Imran Khan has said opposition parties, after failing on different fronts, are now making attempts to buy lawmakers of the ruling Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf (PTI) to ensure more of their candidates get elected to the upper house of parliament in the upcoming Senate elections. For the past 30 years, our market had been operating for Senate election, the Prime Minister claimed while addressing a function after the inauguration of a tree plantation drive under the 10 billion tree tsunami initiative, along with Ghazi Brotha water canal, water channel in Hasro town of Fatak on Friday. Mr. Khan said prices to buy politicians were set ahead of Senate elections. Referring to the rallies staged in recent months by the opposition's Pakistan Democratic Movement (PDA) against his government, the Prime Minister said they had failed. Now they want to get more seats in the Senate by purchasing our members. What kind of democracy is it? He remarked. He also criticized the parties for opposing the recently promulgated ordinance to hold the Senate elections through open ballot. He said even those who had been in favor of the open ballot process for Senate polls in the past had started opposing the idea. The Prime Minister recalled that the Pakistan People's Party (PPP), despite having only 6 members in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Assembly, secured 2 Senate seats in 2018. He said the opposition had to change its tactic after suffering multiple setbacks, including the Lahore rally and attempts to blackmail the government over the Financial Action Task Force legislation. He said corruption was normalized in the country during the previous governments. Our country was damaged more by the involvement of Prime Minister and ministers in corrupt practices than the corruption of revenue or police police officials. He said, explaining that when the prime ministers steal public money, their children own palaces abroad, and corrupt ministers hold ikamas, residence permits of other countries, the country gets mired into a debt trap. The prime minister said when a country was burned with debt, it had to seek foreign assistance by compromising its respect and dignity. Those rulers who hurt the country, they and their children, sons in law, and brothers in law, led aristocratic lives abroad. When I see Ishaq Dar and Nawaz Sharif riding Rolls Royce in London, it appears that they were not born in Gujranwala, in Gawalmandi, but in London, Mr. Khan remarked. He said that with the masses and corrupt politicians standing on the opposite sides, the nation was passing through a decisive moment, and Pakistan would emerge victorious. He said the people of Pakistan were up against the dacoits and mafias, and the nation was at a critical crossroads. About the plantation drive, Mr. Khan said, we want to plant 10 billion trees to ensure that we are able to reverse the effects of climate change. The Billion Tree Project must be successful to mitigate the effects of climate change, he said, while pointing out that no attention had been given to the forestry in Pakistan in recent decades. The Prime Minister regretted that instead of enhancing the forest cover during the past 70 years, even the existing forests in Changamanga, Kundia, and Iraq Prime Minister Imran Khan speaks to the ceremony online. Chicha vanished due to massive deforestation. He said Lahore was facing immense smoke owing to 70% reduction in green cover, which was highly dangerous for children and elders. The threat would increase unless the nation collectively decided to reverse the wrongdoings of the past, he added. Mr. Khan said a tree plantation was essential to protect the future generations, particularly when Pakistan was among the 10 countries most vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. He linked the development of 10 cricket grounds along the water channel in the area with the youth involvement in the protection of plants. The plantation, he added, was essential for the country's future and the cricket grounds for the health of young generation. He said that tree plantation was the only solution to overcome the growing heat due to emission of greenhouse gases. Camera Technology Zone, responding to some of the demands raised by Special Assistant and to the Prime Minister on climate change, Malik Amin Aslam, for the area, Mr. Khan announced the setting up of a special technology zone at Kamara near Atak. The Prime Minister said it was his government's policy to give priority to the local people for jobs in the project established in an area. He was referring to the demand for job quota in ordnance industries, recalling that before assuming the premiership, he had dreamed of extending the health insurance facility to all households in the country. He said that not only Attock district but the entire Punjab province would be provided with health insurance coverage under the Insaf Health Card scheme by the end of 2021. Calling it a matter of pride, he said even the developed countries could not yet provide the universal health coverage as had been provided in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Earlier, the Prime Minister unveiled the plaque of the plantation project under which around 1.143 million trees, including indigenous species such as shisham, pakane, palai, and cerise, and the fruit plants, including guava, locust, citrus, and fig, would be planted along the water channel of the Ghazi Barotha power project. The project would be completed within 3 years at a cost of rupees 147.1 million. Minister of State for Climate Change Zartaj Gul Prime Minister's Special Assistant Shahbaz Gill and Senator Faisal Javed were also present on the occasion. Earlier, Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Climate Change Malik Amin Aslam told the gathering that the 10 million tree tsunami initiative was recognized globally. He said the KP government had not only achieved the target of the billion trees but also saved rupees 8 billion of the project cost. While accepting the bond challenge, the government made a plantation over 6.5 hectares, going beyond the target of 3.5 hectares, he said, claiming that the government was about to get a third party audit of the 10 billion trees initiative. The SAPM thanked the Prime Minister for approving various development projects for Attock, including a campus of Allama Iqbal Open University, a mother and child care hospital, and gas supply to 35 villages. And in the end, the formal request, if you have not yet, please subscribe our channel and press the like and bell button to get the fresh from us. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time. Goodbye.